table.
It's not recorded.
So, I pray the good Lord will help us in these areas. So, when we are talking about partnership, marriage is a commitment. You need to commit yourself into that marriage. The man must commit himself, the woman must commit herself into such marriage. Ezekiel chapter 16. Ezekiel. Ezekiel 16:8. 16:8. Now when I pass by thee, I look upon thee, behold, thy time was the time of love, and I spread my skirt over thee, and I covered thy nakedness. Yea, I swear unto thee, and I enter into a covenant with thee, said the Lord God, and thou comest mine. You see, it is a covenant taking. It's a commitment within two people. The commitment must be there. This marriage must work no matter what happens. This one must work. That one must work. And if you don't have that thinking that this thing must work no matter the situation, nobody forces you to marry such a person. It is out of your own volition. When you saw one another, you say, this one is good for me, that one is good for me. But at times, it's just like a black market something. Marriage just like a black market. It is when you enter into it, you know what is inside there. When a package that you have not seen, you won't know the type of thing that is inside until when you open it. Until when you have entered into the marriage before you enter. So this is, so all the while I've been seeing you, I thought you are an angel. This one, I thought you are an angel. So this is what you are. Then, that is where they need to come to commitment being taken. The covenant being taken. Say, we have entered into it. No matter what happens, let us make it work. But if it is not working, as far as I've said, stand aside for a while for you to save your life. It is the person that runs from war that can come and fight another war. A dead person cannot fight war. So I pray that the good Lord will help us. I hope I'm communicating.
Yes, sir.
So Hosea chapter 2, 19 and 20. Yes, let somebody read. I want somebody to read that one. Hosea. Hosea chapter 2, 19 and 20.
I will betroth you to me forever.
I will do what?
Betroth. I will betroth you to me forever.
Forever.
I will betroth you in righteousness and justice, in love and compassion. I will betroth you in faithfulness, and you will acknowledge the Lord.
Yes.
19 and 20.
You see, they betroth to themselves what is called commitment in love, in faithfulness, in loyalty. They should be loyal. There shouldn't be anything disloyalty between husband and wife. And there shouldn't be anything cheating on one another or talking evil of one another. You should not talk evil of your wife. You should not talk evil of your husband, because your eyes were open when you got married to him or her. And by the time you now discover that this kind of thing is happening, the woman should keep quiet and be watching. Men, they can force it. Do you know some men that are so quiet they are devil? Yes. Some women, men, they will look so quiet. You should look at them, you think that it's an angel. But they are fire inside. The moment you look at them, this man is quiet. Oh, hey, mere looking at him, you will say, ah, this is man. The woman will enjoy him. Alive. Some women are not enjoying some of them. Some of them are introverts, while their wife may be extrovert. And some men may be extrovert and the wife introvert. And I want you to look at it very well that for a vehicle to move, there's negative and positive battery. Without negative and positive, the vehicle cannot move. Two positive cannot make a vehicle to move, and two negatives cannot make a vehicle to move as well. So, whether the man is negative or the wife is positive or vice versa, they should now blend together to make things work. That is the way I look at it, and that is my perception. So I pray that this will make us to see good things in marriage. And marriage is for companionship and strength. That is 2:18. It's for companionship, and you should from time to time be by the side of your woman and your husband. From time to time. Companionship in the sense that anything that happens in the marriage, that companionship should be there. Give strength to one another. Give strength to one another. When the other one is weak, the other one will be able to take him up or her up. Two weaker people cannot make things work. One has to be strong, and one has to be weak somehow. But if two are so strong that one is not weak, there will be problem. There will be problem. It will be fire, fire at home. Fire, 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 fire all the time. I pray that will not be our portion in Jesus' name, and will not be portion of our children in the name of Jesus. Because we have passed, we have crossed the bridge. Some of us here now. And those of you that you are about to cross the bridge, say when you get to the bridge, you cross it. That such thing will not be mentioned of our children in the name of Jesus. Amen. They should be able to give strength to one another. Amen. Compassion. You see, God said it is not good that someone has to be lonely, has to be alone. But let me tell you, you can be in the midst of crowd and be lonely. And at times you can be alone and not be lonely. You can be alone and not be lonely. Am I communicating? And you can be in the midst of crowd, and right inside the midst of the crowd you are lonely. Your thinking faculties elsewhere. What you are thinking about is not what they are doing at that moment. They may be clapping, they may be, even you yourself, you may join them to be clapping, but your clapping will be quite different from others. You see, people will just be looking like, what is happening? What is happening to this woman? What is happening to this man? He is there physically, but spiritually is not there. And you can be alone, and you will be jumping up and down, and you will be clapping, and as if you have hit a jackpot. What is it that makes this woman be clapping and jumping and then rejoicing like this? What has he gotten? It is the grace of God. And that is why we need to be very careful. When the Lord said it is not good for a man to be alone, you be in the midst of crowd and be lonely, and being alone, not being lonely. It is well with us. Two are better than what? One. According to Ecclesiastes chapter 4. Let's look at Ecclesiastes chapter 4. before Sons of Solomon.
Two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, one will lift up his companion. But woe to him who is alone when he falls, for he has no one to help him up. Again, if two lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one be warm alone?
Hallelujah. That is food for thought. You see, how can someone be alone and be warm? It takes two to tango. It takes two to warm. We are not talking about electricity or whatever, or NEPA like our own Nigeria, but heat that you will generate when you are together as husband and wife. The heat that you will generate, though it cannot boil yam, but it means something. If you have 2 horsepower AC, you will still get heat. You may be in a 2 horsepower air conditioned room, but that heat will still be there because it is God that created it to be. It's not man's making, it is God's making. So I pray that the Lord will help us, that we will be able to know the difference between 2 and 1. Amen. You see, 2 are better than 1. One head of state, because he was sleeping on it. As a matter of fact, most of these excellencies, the governors and others, they sleep alone in their room. Their wife will sleep separately. They say protocol. I could remember one of my friends said, look at protocol. I beg! What kind of protocol is that one? Protocol will say I should sleep alone. Before I came here, I've been sleeping together with my wife. So coming to be a governor, you now said my protocol will separate 2 of us together. But do you know they used to enforce it onto them? They used to enforce it. They used to enforce it. I don't know why. The demon behind that kind of a thing. So now when 2 of you are on the same bed and you are together, if one by mistake heart attack or whatever happens, the other one will be able to at least CPR. You will be able to do that one. You do that quick, and the man will, or the woman will be revived. But when there's nobody, the man is in his own room, the woman is in the other room, there will be a problem. And when it happens, anything can happen in the night. Anything can happen. Even when you are snoring and nobody by your side, you say, this snoring. Like she used to do to me at times, and I myself would say, when you are tired and there's tendency for you to snore, and the way you sleep also determines snoring. So when there's nobody by your side, and that is why you say some people slept and in the morning it is the dead body they discover. It is because nobody. When such a thing happens, sickness or attack can come at any given time. Whether an attack from enemy or from within, because when you are tired sometimes, anything can happen in the night. And you say, people will say, attack. Whereas cardiac arrest is not attack. I say it is a sort of body reaction. I pray that the Lord will help us from time to time in the name of Jesus. Amen. So we should be heirs together of the grace of life, according to 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 7. 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 7. Yes. Oh
Husband, likewise, dwell with them with understanding,
my. With understanding, huh?
giving honor to the wife
Giving honor to the wife.
as to the weaker vessel,
Yes.
and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers may
Not be hindered. We have been given this advice, this instruction. The instruction there is that women should honor our wife. Men should honor their wife. They should not talk to their wife anyhow. They should not do anything contrary to the will of God to their wife. And for their prayers not to be hindered, they must do what? They must honor their wife. If you look at any business today of any man that goes down, go and read this place. The man refused to honor the wife. The man refused to respect the wife. The man refused to regard that woman's opinion. We're thinking, I am the man, the husband. When you are horse, how can't you bang? You see, some people are horse, they are not buying. They say they are husband. Husband, you are horse, you have to bind things together. Not just being a husband who is always Mr. Right, Mr. Perfection. Is always perfect. And perfectionist people, they are always having problems. Yes. Perfectionist people, they always have problems. Because they want this thing to be done like this. It is just like this, you must do it. Perfect. It should be perfect. It should be perfect. At the end of the day, they will be having problems. Because not everybody wants to take to their own instruction. Not everybody will say, this one, really now, come down to our level. Why this one? This one must be. Now, in such situation, we need to be very, very careful. We need to be very, very careful in the sense that here is a woman, according to the Bible, it's a weaker vessel, but I don't see a woman to be a weaker vessel, as far as I'm concerned. I don't see a woman to be a weaker vessel in the sense that if you and your wife travels somewhere, it is your wife that will know that you need to buy onion, you need to buy pepper, you need to buy meat. And when we get home, we are going to cook. And she will get home with a child at the back, cooking, and the man will go and stretch leg, be watching television or be reading paper. And you call that woman a weaker vessel. She will go to the kitchen, prepare the food, and lay the table. And after leaving the table, say, food is ready. You say, reluctantly, you will just, whether with belly or nothing, you will now come in to say you want to. No, they are not weaker. But the Bible calls them a weaker vessel. That means they don't have strength per se. But do you know that some women, they are stronger than men? This country. You know, I had one a mother, senior sister to my dad. That woman, she lioness. If she beats the husband, box him. I box her down. After boxing him down, he will now sit on him and begin to punch. And this man had been enduring things for long, but one day the man cried out. So when the woman discovered that people are coming, she would turn the man up. Hey, he has killed me, oh, he has killed me, oh, he has killed me. One day the man now said, no, you have been the one hitting me, oh. So maybe God will help us. You see, it happens sometimes, but you won't know. When they didn't tell you, when you don't know of it, they will just be enduring such a thing. But to me, if that thing is becoming too much, step aside. Step aside. It's not that you are leaving him or her. Step aside, though. The Lord will help us. Now, Proverbs chapter 5 verse 8. Proverbs 5:8. What does it say?
Remove your way far from her, and do not go near to the door of her house.
You see, that place is talking about women of virtue. Verse 8. You see, remove thy way far from her, and come not near the door of her house. Lest thou give thy honor unto others, and thy ears unto the cruel. We need to be careful the type of people you move with. That's what that place is saying. Be careful about those people. The friends of your wife, you should know them. And the friends of your husband also, you should know the type of person they are. And I want men to be very careful about this. When a woman tells you that, I don't like this, your friend, God has given them an insight to see a mind ahead. The man may be seeing his surroundings, but the woman is seeing beyond. We just say, this is your friend, I don't like the way, but if you can just disassociate yourself, do it. And hearken to such advice. The moment you don't hearken to it, there will be problem. And some women, they will tell you, have I not told you? At that moment, you just keep quiet. Don't say anything. Don't say, have I not told you? You see how you put yourself. You are now, everything is on us now. No, just keep quiet. He will be saying, my wife warned me. My wife warned me. I was the one that is not listening. But the moment you are now reminding him of what you said, you are putting petrol into fire. Because the man will not want to hear that. When you warn me, go, has it not happened now? You are the cause. He will now pass the buck. Shift the responsibility to the woman to say she is the cause. But the moment such a thing happens, just keep quiet as a woman. Don't talk. Just be praying for him. Just be praying for him. God, help us out of this trouble. Help us out. Because some can be indebted in the cause of not listening to the advice of their wife. To millions. And it will affect the whole house. When it's supposed to bring money for food, and no more money, what will happen? There will be transfer of aggression. Transfer of what? Aggression. Now, transfer of aggression on the children. Fighting everybody. Whereas, it's not the wife or the children that cause the problem. But it will now at times it should be a misplaced aggression also. And people will be saying, what is happening to this man? Let's look at this person. Something is wrong with him. Do you know it may get to a situation whereby the man will be having neurosis, talking to himself. He'll just be walking, talking to himself, talking to him. At that level, will be having neurosis. And after neurosis, it can develop to psychosis. When it develops to psychosis, it will be hospitalized. And that is why how you now see some people having a stroke. Because all the while, they have not balanced all the things that needs to be done. They just fed aside, nothing. Somebody who is not sick and is getting lean every day, something is wrong. The thinking faculty and everything. Let's go ahead. Hallelujah. I hope I'm still communicating. You see, Matthew 19, 4 and 5. It's after 8 already. Matthew 19, 4 and 5. Yes.
And he answered and said to them, Have you not read that he who made them at the beginning made them male and female? And said, For this reason a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife.
Yes.
And the two shall become one flesh.
Okay. Praise the Lord. Now, this thing. Verse 3 says, Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause? Verse 4. And he answered and said unto them, Have you not read it, that he which made them at the beginning made them male and what? Female. And said, For this cause a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave. You see, some men are women rapper. They cannot divorce themselves from their mother.
Some men.
Yes, some men. Not all. Some men. Because in the sense that they feel, if my mother cook this one, if my mother does this, if my mother does that, if my mother does that, why don't you marry your mother then? But they were comparing their mother with their wife. The environment in which the wife got developed, grown up, is quite different from where your mother got grown up. Different environment altogether. But why are you comparing? And Jesus now says, from the beginning it was not so. It wasn't like that. He that made them, God made them, he and her. And they are together in one. But when you now want to bring separation, about this divorce or certificate of divorce, it was not so from the beginning. They lived together till they died. And this divorce we are talking about, it's not common in the Bible. You can't hear the word of divorce per se. It's not common. And that is why in Malachi chapter 2 verse 16, the Bible says God hates divorce. Malachi chapter 2 verse 16. God hates divorce. Just go along and come together and make things work. But like I've said, if things is going beyond endurance, step what? Step aside. Step aside. I don't want anybody to die. So marriage is solution to many problems. We will treat it and close. So we will now continue Sunday. You see, to avoid fornication, sexual immorality, when we are talking fornication about, it's not about a married man and a married woman. Fornication doesn't talk about married man or married woman. It's between young people fornicating within themselves. The man and the woman is an adulteress. Fornication is for fornicate. You see, when they want to say phone, our younger say fornicate. You see, There's difference between the two. And to avoid fornication, that means you'll be jumping from one girl to another. Go and do what? Go and get married. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 2. 7 to say, nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. The wife has no power of her own body, but the husband. And likewise also the husband had no power on his own body, but the wife. They own themselves. It's not a matter that I marry you with my money. There's nothing of such. The moment you get married, you own one another. Now me marry you, not you marry me. The Bible didn't say the man have super class authority over the wife. Neither the Bible didn't say that the wife also have super class authority over the husband. They have equal balance. The equation should be balanced. Are you getting me? You see, the equation must be balanced. And for you not to be born, go and get married. And when you are married, don't look elsewhere. Look unto one another. Speak of the same thing. And please, let's look at verse 5. It says, defraud ye not one the other, except it be with what? Consent for a time, that ye may give yourself to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinence. You see, verse 8 says, I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. That means he has married before, maybe the wife died. That's Paul now saying, let them be like myself. Now, for someone to give such advice, counsel, he would have got married. But you know, some people who have lived with married people can give such advice. They may not marry, but they have experience because they live with people that got married. They can advise others. Because day to day they see things. Am I communicating? And this is the way I look at it to avoid fornication. Let younger woman marry, according to 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 14. Let them marry. 7:9. See, let them marry. 7:9. Let's read that 7:9. But if they cannot contain, let them marry. For it is better to marry than to do what? Than to burn. Than to be doing this and to burn their hands. They should get married. They should get married. They should not be doing petting 2 from 3. If this one didn't go, that one will go. If that one didn't go, this one will go. No! Get married. If you know you cannot be Enoch or whatever, there are people that are natural Enoch, and there are people that they made themselves Enoch. Celibacy. Do you know, just of recent, I read in one of the newspapers that some Bishop of Catholics are now getting married.
Yes.
Yes.
Huh?
You read it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
They are getting married now.
Yes. I read it.
It was on the net.
On the net?
Yes, sir.
But I read it in the paper. That the Pope gave them the room to go and get married. They have now discovered that hypocrisy is getting too much in their midst. I could remember when I was in St. Mary's College. That's our father. Hey! In their own case, the moment you see a slippers of a shoe or a shoe of a woman at the doorstep, you know that a woman is with the bishop. So you don't need to, you are knocking. And they will put their something at the doormat. So something is going on. Yes. Because I was one of the main servants of the fathers, but I was so inquisitive. I want to know everything. One day, one of the fathers just knocked my head. No, I said, I want to know why is it like this. Father Nelly. Oh, they're from Ireland. He said, hey, go away! Get out! Get out! And smoke. Like the one that smoked most was Father McKenna. Hey! If he's coming in my head, you'll be perceive the aroma of the cigar. You see, these are the things that happens. So, if you know you cannot control yourself, go and marry. And when you get married, be committed to it. And when you are committed to it, and it seems things are not going on fine, the way it's supposed to be, pray. After prayer, and you know that things, it is true. Recently, I think last year was from 2016 in Nigeria, the thing was so rampant of husband killing the wife or wife killing the husband. It was so rampant. Right from 2016, I noticed it. It was so rampant that people are just, before you know it, they say this one have killed this one have killed that one. Even in the next year, I saw one last week.
Yeah.
Next year that they killed themselves. And I saw one this morning when I was going through this thing, that the woman that killed her husband was sentenced to death, but being given 5 years jail because she was 19 years old. Yes, 19 years old. 19 years old lady.
This way?
No, at home. From the north.
Oh, from the north?
Killed the husband. And the man, 38 years.
38.
So, something would have prompted her to have done that. But it was this international mercy, whatever, that intervened. That's why they gave her now 5 years.
They intervened.
See, but can you imagine someone that you say you love, someone that you say is your own, and she owns you, you own her, and you are now killing one another? If not that, it is still demon. Some people are demonic. Look at, okay, maybe on Sunday. Let's somebody open 1 Samuel chapter 25. 1 Samuel, that's where we're going to close. 1 Samuel 25. First Samuel 25. You will see Abigail and yes. Verses 20.
So it was as she rode on the donkey, and she went under cover of the hill.
Okay, read from 9.
So when David's young men came, they spoke to Nabal according to all these words in the name of David, and waited. Then Nabal answered David's servant and said, "Who is David, and who is the son of Jesse?" There are many servants nowadays who break away, each one from his master. Shall I then take my bread and my water and my meat that I have killed for my sharer and give it to men when I do not know where they are from? So David's young men turned on their heels and went back. And they came and told him all these words. Then David said to these men, every man guard on his sword. So every man guarded on his sword, and David also guarded on his sword. And about 400 men went with David, and 200 stayed with the supplies. Now one of the young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, saying, Look, David sent messengers from the wilderness to greet our master, and he reviled them. But the men were very good to us, and we were not hurt, nor did we miss anything as long as we accompanied them. Then, when we were in the field, there were a wall to us both by day and night. All the time we were with them, keeping the sheep. Now, therefore, know and consider what you will do. For harm is determined against our master and against all his household. For he is such a scoundrel that one cannot speak to him. Then Abigail made haste and took 200 loaves of bread, 2 skins of wine, 5 sheets already dressed, 5 seahs of roast grain, 100 clusters of raisins, and 200 cake of figs, and loaded them on donkeys, and said to her servant, Go on before me. See, I am coming after you. But she did not tell her husband Nabal. So it was as she rode on the donkey, and that she went down on the cover of the hill.
Read from 23 now.
Now, when Abigail saw David, she dismounted quickly from the donkey, fell on her face before David, and bowed to the ground. So she fell at her feet and said, On me, my lord, on me let this iniquity be. And please let your maidservant speak in your ears, and hear the words of your maidservant. Please let not my lord regard this scoundrel, Nabal, for as his name is, so is he. Nabal is his name, and folly is with him. But I, your maidservant, did not see the young men of my lord whom you sent. Now therefore, my lord, as the Lord lives, and as your soul lives, since the Lord has held you back from coming to bloodshed, and from avenging yourself with your own hand, now then, let your enemies and those who seek harm for my Lord be as Nabal.
Praise the Lord. That's all right. Now, this woman, by the grace of God, was wise to protect her family from being slaughtered. Otherwise, all of them would have been slaughtered. He said, no man will remain if David gets to that place. Because he was thinking that this man has a lot of thousands of sheep and goats. While they were on the field, he protected them, nothing happens to them. But please, give me so and so to share with my people. The man refused. Who is he? Son of who? I better get out. And the servant went and reported to David. And David said, you mean he said that? Okay. Oh yeah, guide up yourself. Oh yeah, let's go. The servant now went to the wife and said, look, problem is about to happen. Please, be in haste to do something. Otherwise, we will be killed. And when the woman heard about it, she didn't tell the husband. She went ahead and brought those things. Okay. Do you know there was a president that the wife protected? You know it? Protected. No, I know my husband. She knew that the man did it. Quite all right. But he has to protect. The woman has to protect, and the man has to protect also. We have to protect one another from external attack. But the moment you cannot protect one another, you are as good as never. And that will not be our portion. And when we are talking about husband and wife, it's a thing that we need to have fellowship with one another. I pray the good Lord will help us. Question? Because it's already 8:30.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yes.
In the book of Genesis, chapter 2,
Yes.
verse 18,
18 years.
it said that let's say look at verse 24.
Okay, verse 24. That the man should live.
Yeah. He said, therefore, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. So, this question, now we read one place that it says, daughter, forget the house of your mom and your and this one saying, a man shall leave the father and mother and be joined.
Yes.
So, today, somebody was telling me, pastor was discussing with me, and I was like, last week he said that in there's some country, maybe a part of Israel or something like that, he said when the husband and wife marry, the husband will come and meet the wife. We move
In the house.
we move.
No. The first meeting in Israel, the first meeting, I think Genesis 30, 25 to 29 now. The man in those days, when you get married,
Yeah.
the first meeting or first sexual intercourse will be in the house of the father.
The father of the woman.
In the father's house. Why? If the woman is virgin, they will bring out the so-called white so-called blood, whatever. But if not, they will stone the wife to death at the doormat of the father.
It's not
Not now, but in those days, that's what happens.
Yeah. He said that they're still keeping it, and I can see in the India is the woman is the one that paid down. So we have so many culture. But now I want to talk about these two words.
Words, yes.
That say
It is the man,
the man will leave
his father and mother, and cleave to his wife. And while the wife is going to cleave with the husband also, he's been advised that, look, oh, no matter what happens to you over there, keep it to yourself over there. Don't come back to us. That's what that place is saying. That's Psalm 45 verse 10. Is that not the place?
This is Genesis.
Eh,
Oh, the second one.
eh.
Okay, don't come and report.
Don't come and report. All they need to be doing is to be praying for you there. Don't come and tell us whether you have fish to eat, whether you have meat to eat, whether there's curry, whether there's this and that. All you need to be doing is to please cleave to your husband there also, as he's cleaving to you.
So we can see that these two things are changing. So the culture and everything is already interrupting.
Yeah.
So, but now the only advice we can give that is suitable, that I can give to the couple,
Young couple.
is that maybe when they marry, they should, as you have said, that they should understand themselves.
Yes, sure.
And they should be able to, defend one another, and not to talk of evil against one another.
Yes.
And also, they should love both family. Because if two people cannot, one tree cannot make a forest. So, he has to carry people along. You understand? That make them to be happy. I could remember when my son was married. They were a little bit far away to us. But it's not possible for me to be driving to that place every time, or even my husband. So when they go to work, you're looking at themselves, they can watch movie, but they are tired of, one or two of them, but they want to they want to see the extended family, both the husband and wife, both husband's side and the wife's side. So they say we need to close it with our family. So we can see that this is how we are good when we come together and be in one mind. This is we believe in one thing, God. So we should blend together, so that the children can blend together with the family. So that's advice to the young couple.
As good as it is, some have to watch it also. In some culture, they want to distance themselves somehow. Even in the Bible, Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 5. For 1 year, if they get married, they should not be challenged with any work. They should not go to war. They should not go for any business. They would have prepared a year ahead in their marriage what they are going to eat and drink at home. And what is that for? Is for the man to make the wife happy every day. Every day. To make the wife happy. That's what the Bible says. Read 24, Deuteronomy 24, verse 5. And if it is in the kitchen they want to make themselves happy, they should go ahead. If it is in the parlor, they should go ahead. If it's in the bedroom, they should go ahead. Nobody should visit them. Nobody should come and say, we want to know what you are doing there. For 1 year. That's my own definition of that place. For 1 year, let them study themselves. Let them know themselves very well. No intruder should come in between them. Yes? What does it say? 5, 24, 5.
When a man has taken a new wife, he shall not go out to war or be charged with any business. He shall be free at home 1 year and bring happiness to his wife whom he has taken.
Yes, to bring happiness to the wife. He should not make the wife to be angry. He should not make the wife to be bitter. He should every day make her happy. Every day. After 1 year, if people want to go and visit, well, okay.
I think that place is really, very, very good, because he is talking about so that the wife, both of them, they don't know themselves.
They don't know themselves.
It is that time they will be able to know themselves and study themselves, that the wife will be able to depend on him and trust him. So, because if you study somebody for the whole 1 year, you will be able to defend him in any way and to rely on him, and they will be able to build up their love and trust.
That's just it.
So there won't be any.
Not only that, for them to really have conjugal relationship, that nobody will disturb them or distract them or to bring disinterest or discomfort or disturbances.
But in case of this today, I don't think there is any chance for that.
No, because of what we are going to eat and drink these days.
Yes.
They don't even practice it again in Israel. They don't practice it again. Because things are changing. Change is constant. And by the time it is their own honeymoon in those days. Honeymoon today is 2 weeks, Kalapata 3 weeks or 1 month. Even 1 month Papa will be too long these days. Now, for their honeymoon not to be sorrow moon, they have to be together study together, their budget, the house they want to live, the type of place they want to settle forever or whatever, and how they are going to plan their budget, and children, or how they want, maybe they want to have a family of 6 or 8 or 10 or 20. Well, all depends. So it is in that time they will plan all those things. Because before you enter, you may be saying, we are going to have 6 family, 4 children, husband and wife, 6. But as time goes on, by the time you enter into, it seems that we are going to cut down this thing. The economy is not helping the situation. Then it is that they will now study and plan voting together. I pray the good Lord help us.
Any other question?
Question on the phone. Question on the phone.
Question.
Do you have question on the phone?
Any question from those online?
Okay. There's no question.
I don't think they are.
Are they connected?
Yeah, they're connected.
Any question?
Okay. Shall we rise on our feet? Father, we thank you, we bless your name for today, Lord. We thank you for the that you have helped us. The little we are able to do to the Lord, bless from above. And let, Father, let it be meaningful to the hearers in the name of Jesus. We will be a practical person towards all that we have had in the name of Jesus. We will not just be hearer alone, but the doer of the word in the name of Jesus. And Holy Spirit, help us out. King of Kings, help us out. Lord of Lords, help us out. There are situations that we cannot even mention here that are having, some families are having problems. I pray, Lord, you will go to such families and bring about peace. In the name of Jesus. Let the husband know that it's not just a husband, but a friend, a covenant of the wife, and the wife is also a covenant of the husband. I say, Lord, Father, help us out.
Amen.
Every spirit of divorce, we cancel it in the name of Jesus. In the Christendom, we cancel it in the name of Jesus. Father, every spirit of killing, of mailing one another, we cancel it in the name of Jesus. Let that be peace and tranquility in the name of Jesus. May we understand ourselves more than ever before in the name of Jesus. Holy Spirit, on daily basis, may we continue to live a Christian life. In the name of Jesus. Thank you, Father. For we pray in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Lord is good. He has done me well. Oh my soul.
Offering time.
Rise up and praise the Lord. Lord is good. Lord is good. He has done me well.